So how do you address an overdone strength? So much attention in the field of EQ, development and emotional intelligence is focused, unfortunately, on low scores are bad and high scores are good. But OKA firmly believes that EQI is most beneficial to help understand all kinds of behavior. What is kind of normal behavior, where you are kind of like what most people in your system are like, but also what happens when you underperform or are underdeveloped. Similarly, though, there's a high end. What happens if I overdo, if I'm overengaged with any one of these EQ elements? So how do you deal with somebody who overdoes something from an emotional intelligence perspective? Well, it would be easy to say, well, just dial it back. You need to do less of that. But that actually is very challenging. In fact, I would even argue impossible to hear and to work on. So you're too highly engaged with self-regard. You can't tell a client, would you just think less highly of yourself? Or if you are optimistic, highly optimistic, would you please stop that? Would you stop thinking the future is such a bright, positive place? People don't even know how to hear that, much less do anything about it. And so how do you work with that? Well, the elegance of the EQI model is that it actually provides within it balancing features, balancing elements. There are within the model EQ elements that offer a counterweight to each of these EQ elements. And so if I overdo interpersonal relationship, I'm too driven to connect and build a relationship with you. Well, the counterweight to that is independence. And so how do I work on that? I wouldn't try and dial back my interpersonal relationship. What I would instead do is try and stand up and strengthen, exercise my independence, my drive to be autonomous and self-directed. So if my assertiveness or emotional expressivity is too high, then rather than trying to be less assertive, what I would do is try and stand up my impulse control, that filtration device that actually helps me counter and filter some of what I say and put out there in the world. The model is loaded with nice counterweights and balancing features. The nice thing about this is that that means that EQ development work is always about doing more. If I overdo something, then what I need to do is exercise and develop its counterweight so that EQ is always about developing more and stronger, better muscle memory. So how do you address overdone strengths? You find its counterweight and stand it up and strengthen it.